Now let's talk about how to match weights to items. The question tells us to match the weights to the following items. Our possible weights are 80 pounds, 30 ounces, 4,000 pounds, and 20 pounds. And then our possible items are a minivan, a Christmas tree, a dozen eggs, and a child's tricycle. Now, the first thing I'm going to do here is just to put my weights in order from least to greatest so that I know which one's the smallest and which one's the biggest. I'm going to label the smallest with a 1. That's going to be my 30 ounces since it's the only one measured in ounces, and ounces are much smaller than pounds. So I'm going to label my 30 ounces as 1. My next smallest weight here is 20 pounds. Since 80 pounds, 4,000 pounds, and 20 pounds are all measured in pounds, I only have to look at the number. So this, my 20 pound weight, will be my next smallest. I'll label that with a 2. Now that leaves 80 pounds as my third smallest weight, since it's still smaller than 4,000 pounds, but it's bigger than 20 pounds. And 4,000 pounds will be number 4, my biggest weight. That's going to be the heaviest item. Now that I have my weights in order from least to greatest, let's put our objects in order from least to greatest in their heaviness. Which of these is going to be the smallest item? A dozen eggs is the smallest thing here, so let's label that with a 1 as well. The next smallest item here is going to be a child's tricycle. It's not quite as big as a Christmas tree, and it's definitely smaller than a minivan. So let's label the tricycle as 2. The next item on our list is going to be a Christmas tree. A Christmas tree is going to be smaller than a minivan since you're going to probably put that Christmas tree on the roof of a minivan. So let's label this with a 3. And again, that's going to leave our biggest item with the 4. Now that I know what my biggest and smallest items are and my biggest and smallest weights, I should be able to fill in my answers using these number coordinations. Alright, so my smallest weight was 30 ounces, and a dozen eggs was my smallest object. So let's put 30 ounces for our smallest object. Does it make sense that a dozen eggs would weigh about 30 ounces? Yeah, probably. Now, my 20 pounds is going to go with my child's tricycle. That also seems to make sense. Probably light enough for a child to be able to lift and ride, but heavy enough that it's going to be sturdy. Now, a Christmas tree is going to be my 80 pounds. And finally, my biggest item, a minivan, is going to be 4,000 pounds. Now I have them all labeled and I have them in order.